you're standing backstage, or maybe sitting in your car right before a massive job interview. Your hands are sweating, your vision feels entirely out of focus, and you are trapped in the highly uncomfortable grip of a genuine panic attack. Your heart is hammering aggressively against your ribs. Your lungs seem to have forgotten how to pull in a full breath of oxygen, and your muscles are visibly shaking. And what is the universal, well-intentioned advice everyone gives you in these moments? Take a deep breath. Fight the feeling. Just calm down. But if you've ever experienced this state, you know that trying to force your body to relax almost always fails. In fact, focusing on how uncalm you are usually amplifies the terror. Attempting to calm down during a panic attack fails because it forces a direct, losing confrontation with your own nervous system. Now, think about a completely different emotional state. Imagine you are strapped into a roller coaster, right as the car tips over the edge and begins plummeting toward the ground in a state of pure, thrilling excitement. This chart shows what happens beneath your skin in both scenarios. On the left is crippling anxiety, and on the right is pure excitement. The physical signatures are identical. Your heart rate skyrockets, and cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, spikes at the exact same rate. In both cases, your body is doing the exact same thing. It is providing a massive surge of high arousal energy required to perform a difficult, high-stakes task. This physical energy is a neutral resource. The difficulty arises when the brain mislabels this biological readiness as a mortal threat. To test this biological overlap, I set up a real-time self-experiment. I strapped a clinical-grade heart rate monitor to my chest and walked straight into a high-stress performance environment. Making the final approach to the stage, the high arousal state triggered immediately. My palms went slick, and the physical symptoms hit me with full force. Looking at the data, we see the exact biological spike. My heart rate climbs past 130 beats per minute, alongside a flood of cortisol. The brain misinterprets these signals. It reads the racing heart as imminent danger, treating a microphone exactly like a physical predator. During stage fright, your body is actually functioning perfectly by providing the heavy fuel necessary to perform. It is your mind that sabotages the execution. Immediately before stepping into the spotlight, I deployed a specific intervention. I spoke a simple 3-word phrase out loud: I am excited. This intervention deliberately does not lower the heart rate. I stepped onto the stage with my biological arousal still operating at its absolute peak. Look at the measurable changes in performance. This audio chart compares an erratic, shaky vocal pitch against the smooth, rhythmic pitch line produced after the intervention. The data confirms a simultaneous improvement in delivery rhythm, validating the technique through objective metrics rather than mood. Simply shifting the psychological label you assign to the physical state transforms frantic, shaky panic into focused, energized confidence, all without ever slowing the body down. Walking off the stage afterward, the physical arousal and elevated heart rate persisted entirely, yet the feeling of emotional terror had vanished. This visual illustrates the formal psychological concept behind the experiment, the reappraisal flip. It is a framework that involves actively transitioning the mind's focus away from perceived threats and toward potential opportunities. Instead of letting the brain fixate on the possibility of failure, you instruct it to use that high physical arousal to lean into the thrill of a challenge. This framework succeeds exactly where telling yourself to take a deep breath fails, because reappraisal aligns with our high arousal biology instead of trying to fight it. This biology extends beyond public speaking. It governs the everyday experience of living with social anxiety, whether you're walking into a crowded room or speaking up in a meeting. Society frequently frames social anxiety as a permanent disease to be cured, or a monster that must be suppressed at all costs. In reality, that intense bodily reaction is raw, unassigned biological fuel waiting for a command. Real mastery comes from directing the body's power, telling the brain exactly how to deploy the energy it has already generated.